Hello everyone, TurtleLags here bringing you another AFK journey video. Hello to YouTube, viewers say hi. So I had a viewer ask me just now, can you recommend what to purchase in the Emporium? And I would be happy to. So the Emporium, when you enter the mystical house, on the bottom left tab, you'll enter this area. This area, of course, is where you can access summoning via the Noble Tavern. On the bottom left here, we have the Emporium. And this is where you can exchange various currencies to purchase very valuable items. So I'm going to go column by or row by row here to kind of give you an idea as to what I tend to prioritize. And this was actually something that I advised a Polish streamer who I rated. She asked me after, critiquing her wish list to, what to buy from here. And I noticed that she didn't buy any of this on the top right that I'm clicking on. Dude, these things, don't skip them. Good lord. I told her, dude, these are the only ways to summon the hypogen / celestial characters from stargazing. Now, it's not entirely her fault because you don't actually unlock stargazing until you hit 400 pulls, which for new players might not be possible initially. But yeah, these are important, these stargazing summons, in order to, when you go to the right, you can summon on the Stargaze station. This is where you can pull some of the most broken characters in the game. It's one of these 4 characters here. As you can see, I already have my Rainier maxed out. So, these characters are very special units that are capable of changing the pace of the game with various mechanics, such as Rainier. He has the ability to blink an enemy off the map for 10 seconds, and he also, at Mythic Plus, is able to increase the damage taken by a selected enemy by 25%, which is very good for Dream Realm score pushes. And then we also have other units like Scarlita, who I'm trying to pull more copies of right now. She is a celestial character who is capable of doing stuns as well as providing shields to your weakest ally. And she makes herself invincible for 6 seconds, so even if you don't have her very well invested, she still has the ability to crowd control the enemies for the first 6 seconds before she plops down on the battlefield. And she's a warrior. And then, there's a lot of talk about Diono right now as possibly a unit you can use to achieve higher Dream Realm points as well as Primal Lord points. And he, we haven't really seen him in the arena yet, unlike Scarlita and Rainier. However, he does have the potential to be an excellent DPS. He's just a very powerful marksman who is able to not only, I think he's able to do true damage. Yeah, I see true damage there. I think he also, I'm checking if he has, yeah, he can increase his attack speed. And so he's more like damage dealer. And then this guy, Burial, he's probably the last pick unless you like his art style. He's not a character who, his gimmick is that he turns invincible, kind of like Vala, but it requires certain criteria to be met. Let me see. Yeah, I don't fully understand his kit, but it didn't, I think it was more like protecting himself, becoming invisible. And the thing is that, in my opinion, you want characters that help your other characters survive, not just him. Face Diano and Arena ones, very annoying. Damage as it comes as a line through the screen. I see. Hey, Kyra, welcome to the stream. We're filming a video right now. A viewer just asked me what to purchase from the Emporium. So I was just going over stargazing because you can purchase that from the Emporium, the Stargaze summons. That's, yeah, you can see the icon there. So anyways, with the recruitment store points, so these things, the dolly tickets, by the way, I forgot to mention, you acquire them from doing pulls. Invisible or invincible, there's a difference. Oh, I think, okay, good point. That's why we have chat. Um, Invincible. Oh, you're right. Immune. Oh, yeah, that's true. So, oh, this is even better actually. So he can be targeted, but if he's targeted during this mode, he is immune to all damage control effects and becomes untargetable. Hmm. So is Vala invincible or invisible? Oh my god, all these mechanics. All right. Anyways, so with the recruitment store, I would highly prioritize these stargazing summons above all else. After you clear out the stargazing summons, then you want to prioritize the epic letters next. It's not letting me highlight them because I bought them already. But that's kind of the order in which I would do things. And the rest of the dolly tickets you can kind of save whenever you approach, you're within range of 60 of this, the soul stones. Basically, if you own 60 soul stones, then you get a random S tier character. Looks like I'm just 30 away, so might as well purchase one. Yep, and then let me see where I'm at here. I'm just 20 away, 11 away, so let me just purchase 2 of them. I only purchase them if I know that I'm going to actually pull something from them. For those of you guys who don't understand what soul stones are, if I kind of go to my inventory, I have 60 soul stones now, so I can get one of the 12 S tier characters. Okay, I got a Carolina dupe, so that's Pog. And then you can also get one of 20 plus A tier units when you get 60 of these. Okay, I don't know who this lady is. Satrana, okay. Alright, so now I can go back here. Carolina, nice. Thank you. You got Lumont with yours. Very nice, very nice. So kind of going back to the recruitment store, I would prioritize those. Do not buy the acorns. I saw the Polish streamer buy acorns. I was like, do not buy acorns, please. Like, I almost had a heart attack watching that. I think we got something going on outside. And then finally, you can get the invite letters. They're very nice. For me, because I have a lot of characters right now, so these aren't as useful for me, I'd rather save for the next time this refreshes. And the recruitment store does refresh every month. So that's the recruitment store for you. I would say every one of these pieces are worth, except the acorns. Please do not buy the acorns. For the love of humanity, don't. Okay, so now moving on to the guild store. So the guild store has 2 different things. One are these title essences. Now, I'm of the opinion that title essences are the next most bottleneck besides purple dust. And basically, just to put this into perspective, to get a character from EX weapon level 4 to EX weapon level 5, you need 50 of these title essences, which is more than you get in one day if you buy out this. And you got to do this for all your characters that you plan to play. Yeah, exactly. Like MT Casino saying you buy out the essences every day. I do the same thing. The thing is that if you are active in this game, you are going to get a lot of pulls. And I think it's worth spending 1 pull for 10 title essences if you are on the cusp of bringing a character from EX weapon level 0 to level 1, or 4 to 5, or 9 to 10. Actually, you can't get 9 to 10. You need the orange ones. But you get what I mean. If you're about to hit a milestone and you're stuck on a content, or maybe you're pushing the dream realm and you're like 2% away from scoring a high enough score to unlock a level 220 weapon chest, yeah, I think this is worth purchasing. You don't have to purchase all of them, but there will be certain points in the game where you're stuck on like an AFK stage or something, and I think that the 1 pull you sacrifice for some title essences should be enough to make up for whatever you miss out on in terms of pulls. I don't think 1 pull is going to make a difference, but I can see how you buying out multiple of these title essences could maybe hold your progress back a little bit. to just kind of, I mean, I buy them out the store every day, and I have some viewers who do. But if you're free to play, then perhaps maybe that's not the best. And then buy these epic letters. I don't know why I didn't buy all of them yet. And then buy this letter right here, because normally it costs 300 for one of these letters, so you're essentially getting a discount every day, so there's no reason not to buy that. And of course, please do not buy the acorns. I saw the streamer purchase an acorn. I was like, what are you doing? Title Essence can level up the weapon to 5, then you need to move to Temporal Essence. Exactly, Froom, exactly. Yeah. Thank you for, yeah, I forgot the name of the orange essence. So now moving on to the arena store. Now, the arena store is really quite amazing because you can buy an S tier character that you're missing, and you can buy these. Holy, I gotta buy these now. Okay, it's gonna refresh in 5 days. Oh my god. Yeah, buy those, and then buy an S tier character who will help your roster out. I am of the opinion that the top priorities should be Cessia, Haywin, and Rowan. Those 3 should be top priority until you get them to Mythic Plus to unlock their EX weapon. Once you have unlocked those 3, got a Mythic Plus for all of them, because you will need all of them, because eventually you'll reach AFK stage 700, where you need at least 1 healer on side 1 and 1 on side 2. And so for this, yeah, bought them in the nick of time. Holy, I would have kicked myself for not purchasing that. Yeah, so for me, I've already gotten my Haywin maxed, my Rowan maxed, my Cessia maxed. So once you get those maxed, get your Granny maxed, and I have her maxed already. Get Igor maxed, I have him maxed out already. Cassidy maxed, yeah, I have her maxed. And then let me check on the Atalanta situation. She's kind of the next one I'm trying to pull for. Let me check real quick if you guys don't mind. Oh. Okay. Acorns, by the way, you get from... Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Actually, there is a trick for a pop-up. Hold up. I might have been waiting for this. Let me see if it works. Yeah, and then for the remaining 3, it's up to you. In my case, I'm trying to build more teammates for my Vala, who is a light bearer, so that's why I'm choosing Atalanta. But if you feel like you need another Wilder or another Mauler, noteworthy, I do think he might be worth... I'm going to try not to purchase him. Yeah, because he... Okay, let me just purchase this so I don't accidentally click something I regret. Okay, so I purchased her. Okay. Yeah, so this guy, he is a Mauler tank who creates bulky shields, and then you have Brian. By the way, so I should probably explain the priority. So the reason why Haywin, Cessia, and Rowan are top priority is because Haywin is the best, one of the best defensive healers in the game. I'm starting to find that Damien's also quite broken as well, but you can't purchase you can purchase Damien, but in the Dream Store. I'll get to that in a moment. But Haywin at Mythic Plus, when she casts her Prayer Rain ultimate, she's able to be crowd control immune for 6 seconds, apply a 30% damage mitigation for your entire party for I think 9 or 10 seconds or 12 seconds, and then she burst heals the entire map for I think 10-12 seconds. Rowan's very good because at Mythic Plus he is able to I think supply mega potions or something like that, which helps with his burst heals, but I think it also helps something else. I don't have it memorized right now, but just get him Mythic Plus. You'll thank me later. And then Cessia at Mythic Plus, her damage output goes through the roof with that. That group dispel every 5 seconds on Haywin is nice too. True. Very true. Yes. Yeah, the group dispel is, I think, EX weapon level 5 or 10. Yeah, we're talking about Haywin. And then next, Igor and yeah, Rowan M plus potion gives a unit permanent higher defense stats. There we go. Thank you, Chinchu, for looking that up for me. Yeah, so permanent defense stats for the rest of the game, physical and magic. That's with Rowan. So he can make your guys tankier. And then we got Igor, who is an excellent sixth man for Graveborn teams. His mechanic is basically that he generates a tombstone every time the enemy dips below 50% HP, and the more tombstones he has, the more fatal blows that he can block. Do you play Genshin at all? I used to, logic coding. I used to. It was really nice. I started in Inazuma, and I quit around the part where you enter the pyramids. And then, let's see. So Granny, this one right here, she's also very good because she is a wilder tank. She's nowhere near as good as Thorin, but she has a degree of self-sustain and crowd control. And when you unlock AFK stage 700, you might need her on side too. Okay, and then Cassidy, she's noteworthy because she is a Lightbearer mage who is able to knock back enemies 2 tiles with her Tidal Wave ultimate. She also stuns enemies, I think like 2 enemies for 1.5 seconds with one of her attacks. She also, at the start of battle, blesses one of your nearest allies. It'll appear like a swirl icon around that blessed ally. And for the duration of the match, every time that blessed ally attacks an enemy or multiple enemies, all those enemies have this water shoot from under their feet and they take additional damage. That Granny's old, but she can tank like a truck. Yes, exactly, Rust, exactly. Cassidy, you can run her in an Aaron team, which is basically Aaron. He enables the magic archetype by shredding 40% magic defense and 55% magic defense if you have him Supreme Plus. Cassidy is one of the 4 mages or 5 mages I recommend to pair with him, although I do think the best mages are still Arden and Carolina, because Arden is capable of rooting everyone with his vines, entangling vines, when he hits Mythic Plus, and Carolina's great because she plops the ice down to crowd control, freeze an enemy for 6 seconds, does splash damage to surrounding enemies, and also when you have her Supreme Plus, you are able to inflict frostbite not just with her ultimate but with her snowballs, which makes it so that you can drain the enemy's energy to reduce their haste, which is required for energy regen from the start of the match onwards. So she makes it so the enemy casts their ultimate slower. Yeah. Okay, so that's why Cassidy's not the best, not as high, but she's still a good substitute. If you're missing a Carolina, or if you're trying to find a wild bear, if you're trying to do a wilder team, Aaron team. Now, Brutus is someone who I think people who watch Vulcan will choose, and I think he's great. He is a warrior who is capable of having extra survivability. He's the guy I think that spins the blade around, if I'm not mistaken. Has really good damage and survivability. He's very good. So I think he would probably be an even higher choice than Cassidy. And then I would say of the remaining, my personal take is Atalanta. I'm kind of biased because one of my only PvP losses was against Vala Atalanta Aaron team. No, I'm sorry. It was like 4 wild bears. It was like Vala, Atalanta, Temesia, Rowan, and Damien. I lost against that team in PvP. Yeah, and everybody in my chat was like, "What? Who the hell is Atalanta?" And we were like, "Holy! She stuns. She cracks the whip to knock back the enemies. She shreds physical defense, if I'm not mistaken, which helps Vala, helps Tamesia because they're physical, and she does like one other thing, probably the sleeper marksman that everybody skips, and then Lumont is okay. Some people in my chat didn't like him that much. I think the only time I play him is actually in the 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 one where you draft characters, Honor Duel, and then Brian. Uh, I mean, there's so many great Wilder S tiers that he's kind of the last one to pick. Yeah, so that's Brian for you. Now moving on to the Dream Store. Now the Dream Store, you probably notice when you fight in the Dream Realm, you get these drops, the Dream Fragments. Hey guys, do you need to meet certain requirements to see corrupt creatures on the map? Because I was looking around the map, can't see one. I definitely know there is one for 100 level resonance. Yeah, I think you need to hit. Well, actually, whenever you unlock the map, you should see the character. You, yeah, if you explore that part of the map, he should appear. And but whether or not you can fight him depends on your resonance level. So, um, if there's if you feel like you're missing a corrupt creature, it could be because they don't exist, or maybe you're in the wrong part of the map. Hey Seiza, welcome, welcome. You're on YouTube. All right, so uh, so for the Dream Store, for those of you guys who don't know what Dream Realm is, if you're a newer player, it's this one right here. So Akira, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Much love to you. Welcome to the stream. By the way, we did get new emotes, guys. We got new emotes, and if you can use your channel points to rent out these awesome emotes, and as a tier 1 sub you actually get to use all of them. Okay, so the Dream Realm, every day there will be a new Dream Realm, and eventually you get to a point where, well, for as you push your score higher and higher, you get chests, you get tickets, but you also get these Dream Fragments, and the Dream Fragments, they're very valuable. You should always push for a higher score because you get to exchange for A tiers. And if you're going for, what's great about this game is that some of the A tier characters are actually even better than the S tiers, which is good. It's good game design. So for this reason, there's a lot of valuable A tiers here that you should prioritize. I would personally prioritize OD first. I'm going to try not to buy him on accident. OD is great because he is the Dream Realm Destroyer. Regardless of which Dream Realm you fight, even the one that shoots out the swamp at you or silences you. Actually, OD is extra important for if the enemy silences you. OD is great because the bulk of his damage comes from his poison stacks, which scale off of the enemy's max HP, and you can do up to 20 stacks of poison, which lasts through the duration of the game, or of the match. So very powerful, and the poison comes from his normal attacks. So if you face that one Dream Realm boss that silences your healers and all your party members, his damage output hardly drops. So OD is the GOAT. If you are serious about acquiring rewards and pushing high score, you need a Supreme Plus OD ASAP. And then if you also want a very high score and you want a future-proof A-tier character, you also need to get Coco. Coco was someone who I think it took us a couple days to realize how much of a GOAT she was. She basically, even if you get one copy of her, you can already have access to probably the best part of her kit, which is to apply 45% damage reduction to your entire party for 12 seconds. It's nuts, guys. It's nuts. And when you get him to Mythic Plus, on top of the 45% damage mitigation, plus also she heals a little bit. She heals the weakest allies. So she's not an excellent primary healer, but baby heals plus 45% damage mitigation, that's kind of broken. at Mythic Plus, she also applies a shield on top of that. And then when you get her to Supreme Plus, he has the ability to soak up damage in the form of true damage and apply that as a beefier shield once the timer runs out. It's kind of like Doran's ultimate ability, where he absorbs the energy and blasts it back on the enemies that did the damage to him. So Coco is another character who you must bring to Supreme Plus ASAP. Okay, so once you get that, then who do you prioritize? Well, let me see here. So the other choices tend to be a little more niche. I would say that probably the most worth either Arden or Kruger next. So Kruger is someone who will benefit a lot of accounts, especially if you are a Sacia main, because Kruger, what he does is that he can shred 10% physical defense up to 4 stacks. And he is, you can kind of consider as one of the best supports for the Dream Realm, because what you do is you cast him right at the start of the match, and he applies 4 stacks, eventually applies 4 stacks of physical defense shred, and then his job is done, because the enemy will have a 40% physical defense shred for the entire match. Shoot, I lost you to ads. Odie and then who? Odie and then Coco. Zodiac Brave, yes. Coco is next because 45% damage mitigation, heals to your weakest ally, shields, and more shields. Perfect, thanks, you're welcome. And then the third choice, probably Kruger for most accounts, because you do get a free Sacia. Kruger, 40% physical defense shred. It'll make Sacia and Mr. Carlisle hit a lot stronger. It'll help your Merrily out. Ooh, speaking of, how could I forget? Merrily, I'm kicking myself for this. I didn't have a Turtle Axe from the future to tell me this. Yep, someone told me. He read my mind. Merrily. How could you forget Merrily? Actually, scratch that. I think Merrily's number 3. So you go Odie first, Coco second, Merrily third. Merrily is also the GOAT, who I don't have Supreme Plus yet. I need a couple more copies. I'm going to buy 3. Or actually, hold up. I need to make sure, how many do I need left? Let's not overbuy. I think I'm so close. So close, guys. 5 more. Darn it. Okay, I guess I can buy 3 right now. Well, I might get her from the epic recruitment. So anyways, sorry, I digress. Get Merrily, folks. No Coco priority and wish list? Yeah, Coco priority and wish list. She's number 2. Yeah, so Coco priority and wish list, yes. Yeah, so the first 2 A tiers that I added to epic recruitment once I got a couple S tier characters to Supreme Plus was literally Odie and Coco. As a matter of fact, I probably swapped a couple, maybe 1 S tier for Odie just to get him Supreme Plus, swapped with Coco, got her to Supreme Plus, and then swapped back to the S tier I was working on. Yeah, because those 2 characters, you really need them in the Dream Realm. And also if you're pushing high AFK stages. Now, Merrily, what makes her so good is that she deals true damage, which means she bypasses 100% of the enemy's defenses. Additionally, she has extra value in one of the stages, maybe 2, where she hops around. And this is very useful against the Necro Dragon, the Dream Realm boss that shoots out the swamp, that if you stay trapped in the swamp, it applies permanent debuffs that slow down your energy regen, that deals residual damage to you. Merrily hops out of that. So for this reason, Merrily's really good as another DPS, and she is a physical DPS, which means Kruger enjoyers can benefit both Sacia and Merrily, boosting their damage output. Odie's magic, so he doesn't benefit from Kruger. Okay, so that would be number 3. Number 4 is probably Kruger at this point, because this is the support that allows a lot of free-to-plays and low spenders to cut through content until they acquire Rainier Mythic Plus. Yeah. Merrilies true damage once her Mythic Plus weapon activates, so Kruger won't boost it. Ooh. See, that's why we need chat. There's so much to this game, guys. True, true. Ooh, if that's the case, then Kruger kind of falls off. That's kind of unfortunate. I don't know if anyone knew that in chat. I certainly didn't. Thank you so much, Vi, for the input there. This is why we cook together. We cook. Thank you, Darkness, for the follow. And by the way, I do have my chef emotes here because you know we cook together, right? Should I go for Kruger? Yeah, you can go for Kruger if you have Sacia, but if both Merrily and Odie don't benefit from him, I'm not sure how valuable he is now. Still very good, especially for free to play. True, true. Yeah, so I mean we're kind of ranking them, right? Yeah, it's going to take a while for you to get a Supreme Plus of an A rank to focus on another. Now the next one, this is kind of debatable, but for me personally, okay, I think that Arden should be your number 5 because Arden is instrumental in a lot of Aaron teams. And now you guys are probably like, who the hell is Aaron, right? I keep talking about him. Aaron is this Giga Chad right here. Where is he? This guy right here. If you make it to top 20 in Arena, prepare to face Aaron everywhere. Aaron is in every team. Thanks to me. I was the first person who brought Aaron to Arena. I made it all the way to 2nd. I think the only person I couldn't beat was the guy who had an EX weapon level 15 Scarlita and EX weapon level 15 Rainier on the same team. Yeah, but besides him, I slaughtered everyone else with an Aaron, Carolina, Arden team. And then everybody started copying me. So now everyone in the top 20 is running an Aaron team plus Carolina, thanks to me. Yeah, and they're making the team more and more broken. Basically what Aaron does is that he vortexes the enemies together. Hey, Amon Pot, welcome, you're on YouTube. What Aaron does is that he, at Mythic Plus, he vortexes everyone together, all the enemies together at the start of the match, then he'll run up to them and with the Ice Spike does a 3-tile cleave, yeah, that move that you just saw, which anyone caught in it, which will be all of them after the vortex, will get a 40% magic defense shred. And actually if you have him Supreme Plus, an additional 15%. And you combine him with Carolina, this mage right here, who drains the enemy's haste so that it takes longer for them to cast their ultimates. And she also freezes the enemy for 6 seconds with her ultimate, also doing splash damage to everyone. Uash, thank you for the follow. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. Carolina, and then Arden. Arden, who I'm recommending as the 5th character you purchase. I have him on my main team. He actually helped me beat the final stage AFK stage 1125. I ran an Aaron team that had Arden in it. Arden is this adorable grandpa here. Yeah, this A tier character is the GOAT. Afternoon, Blargy, thank you for being here. Our superstar. Well, all of you are superstars, but let me get this awesome emote here. Yeah, welcome. Congrats on completing the AFK stages. Thank you. This morning the new emotes my designer finally finished the emotes, so we have a bunch of new emotes. Guys, I'm 4 subs away from unlocking another emote slot for you guys to enjoy. I still have 4 or 5 emotes that I had ordered that I don't have any slots for. I need more subscribers, so you guys can help me out if you have like a Twitch Prime or something. All right, so Arden's the GOAT because he has this mechanic called vines, like entangled vines, where the vines creep up from under their feet and it entangles them, traps them. They're unable to act. And when you have him Mythic Plus, you entrap all 5 of them. And this is really powerful. Gangrene, thank you for the sub. Appreciate your support. Thank you. And he is a fantastic damage dealer, folks. He shoots down lightning, which just does so much damage. When you have Supreme Plus, he does lightning at double the rate. Yeah, you double the amount of lightning that comes down. The lightning comes down every second instead of every 2 seconds when you have him Supreme Plus. Yeah, you will decimate the enemy team with this lineup. Anyway, so Arden, the GOAT, Supreme Plus, get him to Supreme Plus. So what did we talk about so far? Odie number 1, Coco number 2, Merely number 3, Kruger number 4, Arden number 5. So who should you build next after that? So you got a couple of choices. I think Entendre might be one of the top. This might be controversial, but as a free-to-play and low spender, you will understand. Entendre, her kit is so good. One of my viewers told me about some of her kit, and I read her, and I only knew her because she's the hottest tank in the game, but in addition to being hot, her kit is actually quite good. Basically what she does is that she sets up a shield and she taunts the enemies, right? Drawing aggro. This is very important for keeping your back row alive, which is kind of something that even Thorin cannot do. Well, Thorin can kind of do it, but when he dies, you know, well, I guess this is a problem for all tanks. But anyways, the taunt is very nice, but she also has the ability to stun the enemies with her ultimate. What else? She selects the frontmost ally except herself and as the guarded ally when the battle starts. She grants herself and the guarded ally shields that block damage equal to 15% of the ally's max HP for 5 seconds, the shield value up to 500% of her attack. So this is wonderful, right? Like, let's say you want to shield one of your squishy units. You can position your character such that Entendre will actually shield that ally. And if that shielded ally dies, she'll shield the next ally. Yeah, she reselects. So very good. Mythic allows her to port to the guarded ally. Thank you so much, Froome. Exactly. Yeah, so here, if you get her Mythic Plus, she rushes to the ally with the lowest HP, like when they dip below 50% HP for the first time, reducing their damage taken by 40% for 10 seconds. This can be used for once for each guarded ally. Huge, guys. This is amazing. And we haven't even talked about the Supreme Plus ability. Each enemy hit by shield assault increases 10% of her physical defense up to 6 stacks. She can bring her, at Supreme Plus, she can bring her physical defense up to 60%. Yo, that is amazing. That is amazing. Okay, so number 6. I hope you guys understood why. Second level Mythic is even more fun. Ooh. Yeah, and by the way, Mythic Plus is what unlocks your EX weapons. So, you know, don't sleep on the EX weapons, level them up. Not just to level 5, keep reading ahead, because sometimes the level 10 abilities, like Aaron's where it doubles his vortex, immobilization, or, you know, Carolina does even more crazy stuff, you know? Yeah, always read and you can read it by going to... Yeah, so rushes to the next guarded ally, recovering their energy by 100 per second for 4 seconds. Guys, you need 1,000 energy to cast your ultimate. So this is like 10% of the energy requirement every second. So you basically, in 4 seconds, you have basically almost half of your energy recharge for your next ultimate. So this is great, especially if you're combining her with like a healer to burst heal again, or with like a damage dealer to get to stabilize, or with a tank to get his tanking going, you know. It's very nice. Thank you for that, Froome. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, Chad, if you have anything to contribute, you can always chime in. It does make the video better. Okay, so after Entendre, I probably would go... Now, normally I would go Viperian, but I'm going to go with Damien. So hear me out here. We are in a situation right now in Arena where there's so many Rainier teams out there. People are, they need to build greedier and greedier Aeron teams. They're getting more and more ridiculous. And some people a couple days ago started doing it where instead, so you would have, here I'll show you. Okay, so I'll talk about the evolution of the meta this past week here on server 25. It's been bonkers. So I kind of shattered the meta with this one here. I'll go ahead and show you. Okay. Let's see. Where's the last one? Carolina, where are you? Okay, so this was the team that I brought to Arena, got myself pushed all the way to second place. The only person I couldn't beat was the Leviathan. And then afterwards, you know, because when you defeat an enemy, they can watch the replays, they can study your team, how invested you are, and then they start to counter, right? So after the first, I would say like 4 or 5 days, when we entered week 1, you know, the rankings came out, I placed 3rd, and then that's when things got ridiculous. Basically what happened, and I lost to this team, this improved version of my team. This Giga Chad, he modified my team into this. So the idea is that you have Rowan provide energy to Carolina. Remember what I said about Carolina before, where Carolina, when you have her Supreme Plus, she is able to cast Frostbite with her snowballs to drain the enemy's energy, energy is basically attack speed, but for your energy, which is required to cast your ultimates. Yeah, so energy is required to cast your ultimates. So I'm sorry, Carolina reduces your haste, the enemy's haste, which makes it so they generate energy at a slower rate, which means you cast your ultimate slower. So what they would do was they would have an energy battery in Rowan to get their Carolina to ult my team before I could ult theirs, making it so like they crowd control my team. I'm taking a ton of damage, and all of a sudden my ults are coming up slower. They're actually not coming up, and then I wipe. And you know, they swapped Thorn with Granny in order to maintain the Wilder bonus. And then a Giga Chat about 2-3 days ago went a step further, swapped Rowan with the person I'm telling you to pull, Damien. You know, everybody was like, Damien sucks, right? Damien sucks. He's not as bursty of a healer as, you know, Haywin, or doesn't buff enemy damage like Smokey, you know. But Damien, so this is the meta right now. It's either this or this, and I'm working on my Damien right now. Yeah, so this is kind of the meta right now. Rowan plus Carolina plus Vala sounds nasty in PvP, maybe with Thorn and Igor. Yeah, the Rowan Carolina Vala comp, we actually haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it. Right now, everybody's just trying to crowd. Right now, it's all about control. Vala doesn't really control. She basically snipes the back row to enter invisibility to knock them out one by one. But the key to an Aeron team is to destroy all of them at once. You blast all 5 enemies off the map. That's kind of the idea. And Aeron's magic defense shred doesn't help Vala because Vala's physical. So that team comp is good. You do see them in the ranks 20 through 40, 20 through 50 of the top of Arena PvP, but you won't see, there's very few Vala teams in Champion. I think they consist of maybe 25%, relatively speaking. But the Vala, they do combine with Aeron too. Okay, so what makes Damien so good, and why is he the replacement for Rowan and Haywin on the Aeron team? Well, the reason for that is because you know how Cessia summons Mr. Carlisle, right? And when Mr. Carlisle dies, she can ult and Mr. Carlisle comes back to the field. Same thing with Damien. Damien's not physically on the field. He's running around cheerleading, waving his wand, doing, cheerleading. He summons his chariot, which copies 100% of his stats and 85% of his HP. And this chariot does a whole bunch of different things. The chariot, it goes up to a target, explodes, deals damage, and it blinds surrounding enemies for 3 seconds, meaning that those enemies cannot hit you with their normal attacks. But that's not even the broken part of his kit. So the toy chariot does run up to, plays this music, runs up to the weakest ally within 3 tiles, restoring 120% of the ally 4 times. If there's no toy chariot, Damien restores himself 300 energy, which allows him to cast his ult again to summon another chariot. And so this is where you probably got stuck on AFK stages, because you killed everything except that one annoying enemy who keeps getting healed from their Damien's chariot. Because you kill the chariot, you go back to the guy, and the chariot's resummoned. Yeah, yeah. And then what else does he do? He also stuns the target for 3 seconds, increases his attack, which helps with his healing. Okay. So this is what helps him replace Rowan. So each toy chariot activates a music halo when it responds to emergency support, which is where you play a music and heal the weakest ally within 3 tiles. So usually your weakest ally will be your tank, right? Because he takes most of the damage first, And so then his emergency support kicks in, and when emergency support is cast for the first time, plays a music halo, inspires non-summoned allies within 2 tiles, which will be all your allies, right? Because your opponent was very kind to group all your enemies, to group you together. Because when you're going Aaron versus Aaron, at the start of the match, we all cluster. And then inspires non-summon allies within 2 tiles, increases their haste by 40 for 10 seconds. So you know how Rowan, he gives energy after he casts his ultimate? Damien can increase your haste for energy generation for your ultimate right from the start of the match. Yeah, so that's kind of the situation we're in right now. And I'm kind of scared to think what other broken team combinations people can think of. Yeah, and then we haven't even talked about Supreme Plus. Increase the blind duration to 7 seconds when Chariot's HP is above 50%, which is basically like the start of battle, and also in between when the Chariot's resummoned. So yeah, Damien, probably number 7 for who you should pull from the Emporium. Yeah, Dark Knight, we're almost done with the video. I'm still answering the viewers' questions. Sorry. Okay, so after you pick up Damien, who do you pick? And then, it's kind of debatable. So Viperion maybe, although Odie is better. So this is Viperion right here. Viperion is also useful in the Dream Realm. He's kind of like the budget Igor, or the budget Odie, who is, ooh, I'm lagging a little bit. Who is this guy? I better wrap this up. Yeah, I'm just going to blast through this now. So Viperion's a decent option. Sylvena's a decent option. Corrin, actually, I achieved a high score with him, although I don't understand fully why. His gimmick, yeah, I'm lagging. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm going to wrap this up quick. Yeah, Corrin is very useful because he applies shields to your allies and does other things. I'm sorry I can't say more about him, but he's good too. Lucius is also very good. Leica's very good. Yeah, and then the rest are kind of okay. And then the friendship store, still lagging. Do not buy the daily store, buy the emotes, because the emotes stay with you forever. The top 3 is basically to improve your friendship, Corrin gives true damage and good paired with Merrily. Okay. Yeah, oh, okay. Corrin gives true damage and good paired with Merrily. Thank you guys in the chat for that. I know I'm lagging a little bit. I apologize. After I think my laptop might be overheating a little bit. Okay, so anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy content like this, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I stream most days on Twitch and twitch.tv/turtlelags, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.